Hey, what's going on everyone, and I am here today for another video focused on Overlord player information. So today it's going to be a quick video. I just really wanted to make this because I have just recently discovered some player information that I didn't know existed. I don't know how I missed this info, and it's actually entirely possible that a lot of you watching this video already know it as well, because it's been available for some time. And when it comes to player info, there's very, very little in terms of confirmed facts in Overlord, so whenever there is some dropped, I am all over it, and I want to spread the word as soon as I can. So the information that I found pertains to the god of wind of the six great gods, who is worshipped in the Slain Theocracy as well as most of the other human nations on the continent. So funnily enough, the bulk of this information doesn't even come from actually the Overlord series. It comes from a spin-off show that maybe some of you have heard called Isekai Quartet. Specifically, Isekai Quartet, the movie Another World. The God of Wind is briefly mentioned in Overlord Volume 16 regarding his armor that is worn by Anteline or Zeshi, depending on what name you want to call her, and how she wears the armor and can be seen wearing the armor in several images in Volume 16. That armor belonged to the God of Wind and is viewed as a trump card of the Slain Theocracy. So, and Zeshi being the most powerful warrior in the Slain Theocracy is granted access to it as a kind of trump card weapon. But as I said, that is not where the bulk of this information comes from. It comes from this Isekai Quartet movie. Now, I've been a big fan of Isekai Quartet for a couple years now. I started watching it a few years ago and I really enjoy it, but I never thought that we would get information that could be considered canon to the Overlord universe that we wouldn't get in the actual main series. It's actually kind of sneaky, and I feel like Maruyama was just trying to slip this in there just kind of like secretively, like only the real big fans that watch everything with Overlord are going to get this material. So in the movie, we find out that the God of Wind's name is Kiko Tenshin Neko Nyan. Now, while he isn't actually named in the movie, there was an additional pamphlet that was released with the movie that details a lot of the events that occur prior to the events in the movie. And from the way I understand it, the events of Isekai Quartet basically take place in an alternate timeline compared to like the timelines that are going on in all the series that are involved in Isekai Quartet. But the information we find out about Kiko Tenshin can be considered canon as well, is something that I've found out. So basically, in the Isekai Quartet movie, there is this golem character named Pantagruel, and she is a creation of Kiko Tenshin. A long time before the events of the movie, Kiko Tenshin was actually teleported from the world of Overlord to the world of the movie. Once he's there, he starts developing golems with another character and eventually creates Pantagruel as well, which tells us that he must have had a golem creation skill. And in this timeline, he ends up staying with Pantagruel, that character, until he dies of natural causes, because he is a human, as is confirmed. But the big things about this is that, number one, it gives us an actual name of one of the six great gods, which up to this point, we only knew Allah Alaf, the god of life, and Surshana, the god of death. And not only that, it also gives us pictures of Kiko Tenshin. And from the pictures, we can see that he is a blue-haired human who had this very brilliant white armor that we see Zeshi wear in Volume 16 illustrations. And also, we can get a little information from his name, and that's actually something that's led to another theory of mine. So I believe the literal translation of his name is Shining Angel Meow Meow or something like that. It's something involving cats, basically. And his symbol was depicted as the silhouette of a cat's head. Now, I owe my Volume 1 breakdowns that I've done recently to remembering this, but in Volume 1 of the light novel, there was a guild mentioned by Ainz. It's a guild called the Great Cat Kingdom, and it's a guild that created NPCs based on cats, and just like basically their whole theme was cats. And so the God of Wind's name being Kiko Tenshin Neko Nyan makes me think that it's possible maybe he was a member of this guild. Now granted, I can't say that for sure, it's just kind of a theory that I have just from his name being Neko Nyan, and also Surshana doesn't have a name associated with cats, but then again, we never really know for sure if Surshana and the rest of the gods were all in a guild together. It's entirely possible they were just random people that showed up, but that was something I thought about once I found out what the translation of Kiko Tenshin Neko Nyan actually was. And another thing that we find out is that he is a paladin and was a specialized tank. That was his build, and that kind of goes in line with the brilliant shining white armor we see on him. We also find out that in the New World he had a harem and had multiple children and and wives and things like that, which does line up with what we know about the 6th grade gods in the existence of godkins, meaning that they had children, and that kind of makes sense. And that also goes in line with a well-believed theory about the 6th grade gods being more casual gamers, and they were people that basically just showed up in the New World and enjoyed the luxuries of being super powerful, as opposed to the 8 greed kings who were theorized to be super try-hard players and did all the extreme things that they did during their time. Now, granted, unfortunately, we don't get a huge description on his power, so I am interested as to why he was called the god of wind. Maybe he had some sort of wind elemental powers or something like that, but he was classed as a paladin and a tank, so we can only really guess at that point. But the main reason I'm making this video is just, this is kind of big. It's pretty huge because not only do we have a name associated with him, we have actual pictures of the character, we have things he wore, things he did, and you know, it's just more information about a past player, especially as one as well known as the 6th grade gods are. And not only that, one could argue that Kiko Tenshin is an even more prominent player figure in the New World than the other 6th grade gods that we do know the names of, which is Al-Alaf and Surshana. The other human nations don't have gods of life and death, they just worship the 4 elemental gods, with Kiko Tenshin being one of them. One could say he's an even more known figure in the New World in the current timeline with Ainz than the other players in the 6th grade god that we know more about. But guys, that's pretty much all I had to say. I just wanted to get this out there for anyone who didn't know it like I did. This kind of fell into my lap. I was doing research on a potential religions video that I was going to do for the religions of the New World, and this just came on my screen and I couldn't believe that I had not seen this. I guess that's my punishment for not watching the Isekai Quartet movie. I never saw it. I never got around to it. So that is my punishment, and Maruyama's making sure that the dedicated fans are getting their payout with already knowing this. So like I said, it's possible you guys probably already knew this if you had seen the movie, but if you hadn't, I hope this provided some new information on a past player, which is always interesting to know. So guys, what do you think of this new information? Does it create any new theories for you guys? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. I love to hear from you guys and to theory craft with you guys. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, please hit that like button on your way out to let me know. And if you aren't already, please subscribe to the channel. It helps me out more than you know, and it'll let you know when I post in the future. With that being said, I want to thank you all for watching to the very end of the video, and I will see you all next time. Bye.